does the average Lebanese, including perhaps the average Shiite who supports Hezbollah, who's not necessarily an ideologue, would they rather have war or peace? They'd rather have peace in a sense of quiet, not necessarily normalization, as you just noted. They don't want war with Israel, including, again, the average Shiite who supports Hezbollah. The problem is how they perceive that quiet coming about. If you've bought into the Hezbollah narrative that if Hezbollah drops its arms, then there's nothing to deter, rapacious warmongering Israel from just gratuitously launching attacks on Lebanon just to kill Lebanese and seize Lebanese territory, then your pathway to achieving quiet is through maintaining Hezbollah's arms. And this is unfortunately what the overwhelming majority of the Shiite community believes. The rest of Lebanon, we've seen different polls, something like 63%, 70% of Lebanese overall want Hezbollah disarmed because, again, they view that as the pathway to quiet with Israel. That does not mean, and those same polls show that it does not translate to the same number wanting peace or normalization with Israel. They simply want a state of non-belligerency or non-war with Israel. But again, it depends on how you feel like you can achieve that if you're a Lebanese, whether through the maintenance of Hezbollah's arms or the disarmament of Hezbollah.
And I just want to go back to the protest that I mentioned at the beginning, because, of course, the Lebanese are not only having to live with this constant state of war and conflict, they have severe economic problems as well. And until Hezbollah is disarmed or appears to be disarmed, the Western countries, the moderate Arab states, simply won't invest. Is that opening up opportunities for other nefarious actors like Qatar and Turkey? Are they taking advantage of that?
Well, I mean, Qatar and Turkey have had influence within Lebanon for a long time through various means. I don't know if it's to the same degree or the same way that Iran is manipulating it. But it's not just Hezbollah that's the issue with Lebanon. And this is the issue that we need to understand. The problem, and again, the protests kind of highlight this perfectly, the tax that's being raised is to fund this overbloated public sector that Lebanon has that is built on this idea of wasta, right? Politicians will hire affiliates, they'll hire party affiliates, they'll hire allies, they'll hire people that owe them favors, so on and so forth. And this constantly bloats the public sector when the public sector is not doing what it needs to do for Lebanon. I mean, if it were, the economy wouldn't be in shambles, electricity wouldn't be in shambles. So you have this clientelist system that continues to bloat in the form of the public sector. And that has reduced trust among foreign investors. Hezbollah is one factor, but remember, Lebanon economically collapsed in 2019, and Hezbollah was only one factor that led to that economic collapse. And since then, the funders and investors that once would give Lebanon anything have since then said, we need to see deep-seated, genuine economic reforms before we reopen the spigots of funding. And that has simply not happened. And here we're seeing, again, this so-called government of change, one of many Lebanese governments of change. All it's doing is repeating the mistakes of the past by further expanding the public sector at the expense of the public itself, burdening them further with taxes so that politicians can maintain support through passing out positions and jobs in this overblown public sector.